When was the last time you just jumped in your car and got to the first corner and decided, should I turn right or left? Not very often. Sometimes that's really fun, but it's not part of our standard process of adventure. Usually, we pick a destination and we plan a route. Well, we want to do the same thing with our career. A career map starts by identifying a job target within a particular industry. Of course, you can always make a change, but if you will identify a targeted job, you can do some research and analytics about how that industry is changing, how it's being disrupted, and innovating solutions so that you can be ahead of the talent pool in terms of your skill set and knowledge. In fact, according to the World Forum, 65% of students currently in kindergarten are going to be in jobs that currently don't exist. What opportunity is there for us now in school preparing to launch into careers in things that are just developing and what hasn't even been developed? So you can create opportunities for yourself that perhaps you haven't even considered. As you start thinking about building a career map, you want to figure out ways to layer your education, experience, certifications, hard and soft skills in a way that gives you a unique perspective in your industry. So a really great resource to use is called O-Net Online. It's put together by the U.S. Department of Labor, and not only do they list hard, soft skills and education required for entry into individual jobs, but it also gives insight into emerging tech. And emerging technology is a great way to keep yourself ahead of this disruptive curve and make yourself relevant. So I would really recommend that you design a T-version skill analysis for your industry. Identify that targeted job, and then create a T on a piece of paper. Along that horizontal line, think of yourself as a generalist and do research using O-Net Online. If I were to work in this job, in this industry, what kinds of topics and conversations do I need to have a little bit about? And become a generalist. Perhaps use your general education requirements in school to just tiptoe in a lot of variety of different topics and be well-rounded and educated and versed so that no matter what conversation is happening, you can be part of that decision-making process, or at least understand the conversations happening around you. So for example, let's say you want to work in marketing. Well, if you were to think about those general topics of knowledge that are part of a marketing agency, those topics might include business management, lean strategy, supply chain, accounting, psychology, sales. You can get a little bit of information about all of those. Then, I want you to dig deep and think about how you might create something unique about yourself, a niche even. What would make you different from others? That is the vertical component of your T. What skills or knowledge are used in that industry and in that targeted job that not a lot of people are able to offer? What could make you different from everybody else that you're competing against? Emerging tech could be a really great strategy. And along that vertical line, start listing things that require specialties. And pick one thing in which you might become better at, know more about than most. Let's use our topic of marketing again. Along that vertical T, I could list maybe search engine optimization, data analytics, content design, campaign design and launching, customer engagement strategies, maybe even Adobe software. Or if I want to do the data analytics, maybe a software like Sequels or R. Pick one, and you can pick to then study in classes and maybe get a certification, maybe get an internship and experience, and start networking then in companies that offer that kind of skill set. You don't have to be able to do it all at once, but you can sequentially plan a process of development and advancement that not only gives you experience in those general topics, but allows you to develop that specialty in your vertical line. When you put together an educational degree that will support that targeted job, a certification that will justify a skill set, and being able to declare how you add value consistent with those outcomes, even networking and getting a little bit of experience, you are building a career map that lets you go from where you are today into the industry and the job of your dreams. One resource that you could take advantage of is at a webpage called Career Strategy Woodbury School of Business. Because there are so many different complexities to building a career narrative, we've tried to outline specific steps you can do each year in school. For freshmen, there are 3 or 4 things, for sophomores and so forth. Click the link below to see where you are and how you can elevate your career narrative now.